The final revenge. After a week of fixing the broken ceiling fan and scrubbing white paint off Barnaby the cat, Sunday arrived again. Grandma Carol declared that the men in the house were banned from making decisions for 24 hours. She was going to cook a massive, peaceful family feast to reset the peace. The kitchen smelled amazing. She was baking a giant lasagna, a fresh loaf of garlic bread, and a huge bowl of homemade strawberry jelly for dessert. Grandpa Joe sat safely in his rocking chair, his clean false teeth firmly in place. Little cousin Leo was banned from wearing his superhero cape and was sitting quietly on the rug, playing with his toy cars. Barnaby the cat was napping on top of the fridge, far away from any paint buckets. Everything was perfectly calm. "Dinner is ready," Grandma Carol called out happily, placing the steaming, cheesy lasagna in the center of the dining table. We all sat down. Grandpa Joe licked his lips. My dad grabbed the serving spatula. But just as my dad was about to scoop the first slice, a strange, wet wobble sound came from the kitchen counter. We all looked over. The giant bowl of red strawberry jelly, which was supposed to be chilling on the counter, was sliding. Grandma Carol had accidentally placed the warm glass bowl on top of a slippery, wet dish towel. "Stop the bowl!" Grandma shrieked. My dad lunged out of his chair, but his foot caught the table leg. He tripped and fell face first onto the carpet. My mom reached out, but she only managed to knock over a pitcher of iced tea. The bowl reached the edge of the counter, tipped over, and fell. But it didn't hit the floor. 7-year-old Leo, using his lightning-fast kid reflexes, dove across the kitchen floor like a baseball player sliding into home plate. He held up his hands and caught the giant glass bowl perfectly, just inches before it smashed into the tiles. "I saved it," Leo cheered, holding the bowl high in the air. The entire family let out a massive sigh of relief. "Good job, Leo," Grandpa Joe shouted, clapping his hands. But the victory lasted exactly 2 seconds. The heavy glass bowl was completely coated in slippery, wet condensation. As Leo stood up to show off his prize, the bowl slithered right out of his small hands like a wet bar of soap. The bowl hit the floor. Smash! The glass didn't break because it landed on a thick rug, but the impact created a perfect, red, gelatinous explosion. A giant wave of sticky, bright red strawberry jelly launched into the air. It didn't hit the walls. It didn't hit the floor. It flew horizontally across the room and landed with a loud, wet slop directly over the top half of Grandpa Joe's face. The room froze. Grandpa Joe sat perfectly still in his chair. Red strawberry jelly was dripping down his forehead, covering his eyes, and hanging off his nose. It looked exactly like a scene from a Hollywood monster movie. Leo gasped, backing away slowly. Grandpa turned into a strawberry zombie. Grandma Carol buried her face in her hands, ready to cry after a whole week of messes. My mom and dad didn't dare to breathe. We all waited for Grandpa Joe to finally lose his temper. Grandpa Joe didn't move for 5 long seconds. Then, he slowly stuck his tongue out, licked a massive glob of red jelly off his top lip, chewed it thoughtfully, and swallowed. He opened his jelly-covered eyes, looked directly at Grandma Carol, and smiled a massive, perfect, bright white smile. "Carol," Grandpa Joe said, his voice completely calm. "A little heavy on the sugar, but honestly, it's the best jelly you've made all year." The absolute absurdity of a red, jelly-covered grandfather giving a food review broke the room. My dad burst into his loud lawnmower laugh. My mom started crying tears of laughter. Grandma Carol looked at her sticky husband, shook her head, and started laughing so hard she had to hold onto the counter for support. Leo ran over with a napkin, yelling, "Don't worry, Grandpa Zombie. I'll cure you." We ended up eating our Sunday lasagna with towels wrapped around our necks, while Grandpa Joe ate his dinner with a faintly red, strawberry-scented face. It wasn't the peaceful dinner Grandma Carol wanted, but it was a dinner we would never, ever forget. Thank you so much for watching this 4-part family adventure. If you want to see what crazy stunt Captain Leo pulls next weekend, make sure to click that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the funniest food disaster that ever happened at your dinner table? See you in the next story.